Now what I'm about to show you now, this is how you handle an annuity due when you have PVIFA. Now the process that would lead you to this would go something like this. I read a problem, there's an annuity in the problem, that makes it an annuity. The big dollar amounts at the beginning of the annuity stream, I'm going to use PVIFA. But the payments, the annuity payments now, don't come at the end of every time period, they come at the beginning of every time period. It's an annuity due. If the big dollar amounts at the beginning of the annuity due, I'm going to use PVIFA, but I have to adjust my tables. And you saw that in a previous video, and we'll go through that in just a moment here. As an example, let's say that you graduate from college and you go out and you start your own leasing company. A hospital downtown decides that, we want to lease some equipment to mow the grass and everything around the hospital. And so they send out the bid, and you look at it, you go to the implement dealers, and you find out that if you were to win the bid, you'd have to invest $15,000 into the equipment that the hospital wants. The hospital also wants an 8-year lease. You go down to your bank and you say, if I win the lease, if I get the bid and I win the lease, will you finance it for me? And your bank says, yes, we'll finance it for you. As a matter of fact, we'll give you a 5% loan. Now, if we put 5% into this equation here, we'll get a lease payment that's only large enough to pay the bank. We're not in business to pay the bank. We want to make money too. So as a rule of thumb, we just made up whatever the bank charges us as interest, we want twice that as a rate of return. And so in this case, we want a 10% return on our investment in this equipment we're going to lease to the hospital. Now again, what's the lease payment have to be? Well, the lease payment now, the lease makes an annuity. And again, the big dollar amount, we have to invest in the equipment today in order to get the lease. The big dollar amounts at the beginning of the annuity stream, we're going to use PVIFA. So if you write down your general equation, you would note that the big dollar amount is $15,000. And that's going to be equal to the value of the annuity, the lease payment in this case, multiplied by our PVIFA with N equal to T minus 1, I equal to 10% in this case. And then we're going to add 1 to that interest factor. So we would take 15,000 and set that equal to whatever we're looking for, the value of the annuity in this case, multiplied by our PVIFA. Now, if you look up 7 and 10% on your PVIFA table, you'll find that it's 4.8684. Add 1 to that, that's the PVIFA for this annuity due, which is 5.8684. So again, you're left with one equation and one unknown. Take 15,000 divided by 5.8684, and you get the answer. The lease payment is going to be $2,556.06. As a business person now, we often invest for return. Here's the way you interpret this lease payment, or any payment really, that you get on an investment. If I invest $15,000 today, and from that investment, I get $25,5606 at the beginning of every year for 8 years, my rate of return on that investment will be exactly 10%.